Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational videos and tutorials. Today, in this video, I will try to explain how and when you can use GML visual drag and drop block, which is called repeat. That block is part of the loop group of blocks. That group is very important. You will use it a lot or see that those blocks in other people's code, so try to learn them as fast as possible and as good as possible, again because they are very common and very important, very powerful. We're going to see that in a couple of next videos, and today with this repeat, the name says it all, the image icon says it all. When you want to repeat some kind of action, as we have learned in other game engines, Scratch or any other, Unity, Unreal, whenever, whatever you use, it's same process. You want to try to make that code smaller instead of copy paste or repeating some kind of stuff. That's why computers were invented, to do that for us. We want to say one line of code, or as small as possible pieces of code to have them on the screen, as little as possible, and this block helps us to do that. So when I want to create something on the screen, if it's once, that's okay. I can do that by manually by drag and dropping it onto the screen. But if I need to repeat same action, same process like 50 times or 500 times or 5000 times, that will become boring and time consuming and prone to errors. So to avoid that, I use this block to, for example, create something on the screen like spawner to spawn coins, enemies, objects, buildings, or whatever I need on my screen in my game. Maybe to repeat some kind of action like shooting bullets or spells, movement, or whatever you need. This icon is also very important and very interesting, because by watching this you see that this circle is broken. This arrow goes in circle, but it doesn't touches itself. It has some kind of empty space, so you can either enter or exit the loop, and that is important because that is how this block works. So you can exit this repeat block by itself. By default it gives you that option, and that is why this block is great. And let's see it finally in action. In this video I'm going to try to use the scene which I have used before for tutorial, where we have learned how to make some kind of delayed bomb effect, timed bomb, but it doesn't matter, you can use whatever you want. And I want, for example, to spawn those bombs on the screen, or maybe some kind of coins. Yeah, we have coins here, I think also. Yeah, so we have learned before that I can click and drag from my assets browser on my left into the scene on the right and build my scene like this. And sometimes you will want to do this, sometimes your game designer will want a game like this. Like for example in Super Mario you have coins like in a row sometimes to pick them up and collect them, and you have same level every time, it looks the same. So when you start the Super Mario game, you know where the coins are, where the enemies are, and so on. So it doesn't change, it's always the same. And that's for some game, as I said, platformers or something like that. Sometimes that's all cool, but sometimes your game designer will say, okay, the game is too boring, players don't want to play that. They say we want something which is changing, procedural, to play a game which looks different every time and makes it more challenging. So I want, for example, coins sometimes here in the blue, sometimes here in the gray, sometimes in the gray and the blue. Can you do that, and how to do that? Okay, so we will first delete these because we don't need them, and then we will think how to do that and how to create that effect. First of all, I would like to create some kind of object which will do that for me, and I would call it obj coin repeat, because I'm going to use repeat block for that. In real-time development, I would probably call it coin spawn or something like that, spawn coins. This time it's repeat, and I'm going to think about it. What do I need to do? First tell it in English or whatever language you use, then think about it how to solve it. Okay, I need to create some kind of coins to create them on the screen, so I would need create or step event. Do I need those coins to be created on the screen only once and stay like that, or to create all the time while I play the game, like change the create them constantly? I think we need the first thing. We need them created before the game starts, like create them and then collect them or do whatever you want with them, and for that we would have to use create event. The name again says it all, create event. And if I try to use this step event, then GameMaker would try to create coins 60 times per second. That is because we have 60 frames per second game, and that would look terrible, that would look messy, it would be chaotic, and there would be like thousands of coins on the screen. So no, I don't want to use step event, I want to use create event, and I want to use, as we said, something to create my instance. So I will click and drag this create instance on the screen. And which instance do I want to create? I want to create obj coin. Great. So the problem here is that I need to tell the GameMaker how to create coin different every time. So in game development and computers, that word is, the word for that is random. That means coincidental or something like that, every time different. So how to do that? I will need to find some kind of random blocks. We have learned that before. First I would need first I will need to randomize the whole process. That means like create a new random seed, which means shuffle, mix them up, take the things I need, numbers, position, whatever I need, and mix them up, so every time I get different result. Okay, randomize, and then I would need to get some kind of random number to have my random number for my X and Y position, because my instance is on X and on Y. But the problem here is that I would, if I need, for example, one coin, this would be great, we can do that. And I can say do that between 0 and 100 or 500, and put that in variable. Which variable? I will call this position X coin, or coin position X. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to zoom first so you can see better. Okay, I have randomized the whole process to make it different every time. So that's why I used randomize block. After that I say, okay, I need some kind of integer, not decimal, but integer number between 0 and 500, or to be more precise, my room here on my left I can see is 800 pixels wide. So it goes from 0 here in top left corner to 800 in my right corner. So my X position, that means left and right, is between 0 and 800. I don't want my coin to be exactly on this edge with 0. I want it, for example, here like 50 pixels, and I don't want it to go to the 800 on the right. I want it maybe 50 pixels less, so it's going to be like 750. So I'm going to choose, I need some kind of value. Give me some kind of value between 50, because that is where my left edge is, and 750, because that is where my right edge is. And when you find that value for me, put it in some kind of box variable, which will be called coin position X, so I can find it later. And I have called that variable coin position X, because that is what this value represents. That is how it's easiest for me to remember. My coin is somewhere between 50 and 750. That's my position X for coin. I need to do that same for the Y coordinate axis, so I'm going to copy paste this one, and I need that to be how big, between 0 and 600. Why? Because that is how tall my room is. This is the height of my room. On your left side, when you click on your scene on your room, there is room editor, so room settings, with height. I need height, it's between 0 here on the top and 600 on the bottom. I don't need 600, I will put 550, because I need it somewhere here, not on the edge. And same goes with the top. I don't want my coin to look cut out like this. I want it 50 pixels to the bottom, so I will put 550 and 550, right? If I got it, yeah, 800, 600, so it's going to be a little bit less. Okay, great. And I'm going to put that value, when the GameMaker gives me that value, I'm going to put it in coin position Y. Okay, so I have two variables with two different numbers, and I can use them now. Copy paste this variable name coin position. I'm going to use them here. Why is that so? Because I want my obj coin to be created every time in some kind of random position for X, and same for Y, and this will work. I think this will work, so let's check it out. Again, we have randomized the whole number pool, then pick one number from that pool of numbers between 50 and 750 for my X position, same with another number for Y position, and we have said, okay, create that object on some position like that. But we need to drag and drop that spawner obj coin repeat into our scene. Obj coin repeat, and see if it works. And check out now where the coin will show up on the screen. This is like first time we play the game. It's some kind of platformer game, so here it is on my right next to this bomb. I play the game, finish it, next time I start it again, and coin should be on some different place, so that would be more interesting and challenging. And yes, it is, it's somewhere below this bomb here, if you can see it here under this bomb, but let me try it a couple of more times. I want to see it here in the blue or here in the gray without the bombs. Yeah, so you can see it's working, but the problem here, which the whole idea of this repeat block is how to solve it is what happens when you have like 50 coins in the game or 100 or something like that. You can, if you have like 5 or 10 or something like that, you can just copy this and paste it and say, okay, this is another coin and I'm going to yeah, even this would be problematic because I think it would use the same X and Y, so I would have to copy get random number again. Yeah, let me try this. This would, I think this would make 2 coins at the same place, so that we haven't solved our problem yet. Yeah, we see only 1. Okay, so this isn't working. I have to do what? I have to say something like this. Okay, give me random number X, random number Y, create instance, then do that again. So I will copy paste it here. Yeah, but the problem here is that I would have to call those variable differently now because they have same name. So I'm here in big problem and I'm going to try to solve that in different way. And lucky for us, GameMaker programmers, they did that already, but I just wanted to show you how would you do it if you don't have this repeat block. And for example, if you have watched my Scratch tutorials or if you use Scratch, you know that you can just position blocks like this one after the other and create some kind of code which repeats itself, but it's messy, it becomes big, huge number of blocks in a very short time, and it's not very practical. Okay, this doesn't work, so I will try to use this loop block which we have yeah, repeat loops. So it's a loops group of blocks, repeat, drag and drop it here, and great, we have only one field to say how many times do we want to repeat this. Maybe 5. I need 5 coins. My game designer says you need 5 coins, and you need to put some kind of code into this repeat block to say what do you want to use, what do you want to repeat. I want to repeat what? I need some code. So this block, it doesn't do anything by itself. It's just like some kind of container block which you put other stuff in and then it repeats that code. Okay, so I need you to do this. Yeah, first I will drag and drop this randomize above the repeat because I want to shuffle my numbers first, then create. And you only need to do this once in a game like randomize. You can, I think you can even put it in some other object here and it would have the same effect, but for us here it's easier to use it here. Okay, randomize the number and repeat what? So far my code is below this repeat block, it's not in it. I need to click and drag it to its right border here, so there is some kind of blue line here, not under but to the right, and it will snap to it. So you can see the difference here. This get random number is in it and this one isn't. So I will drag this one too. Why? Because I need my block repeat to repeat this code. Get me some random number for X, get me some random number for Y, and then do what? Create that instance. So now everything except the randomize is in my repeat block. So what do we have here? All we had here before with 1 coin, we have now in this repeat block, which as this image shows will cycle as many times as we said. In our case it's 5 times. We can try with 50, maybe 500 later, we can do that, no problem. But when that condition is met, when I repeated myself 5 times, then I will go out of this loop. So you see this this like hole in the cycle. The cycle is broken, and that is where you exit it. Okay, so let's try this to see if it works. So now I would need to have 5 coins on the screen. Yeah, great. And they are randomly distributed on the screen. 3 in the blue, 2 in the gray. Let's try another. Like I'm playing the game, I have lost the game, or I need to stop it, then try it again next time, like when you play Super Mario a couple of times. Let me see what happens now. Yeah, the coins now are on different place. And the more important is that I don't have to copy paste my code and change all the stuff like variable names. And then maybe imagine if you have like 5 coins and every coin has 3 blocks. Get random number for X, get random number for Y, create that coin. That was for the first. The same goes for the second, 3 more. Same goes for the third, 3 more. So for these 5 coins, if I would try to code them in simple way, like copy paste, I would have 15 blocks, and that would work. And again, maybe you could pull that out. But what happens when I have like 50 coins? I will change 50 times in my repeat blocks, so I would have 150 same blocks. Not only that I have 150 blocks, I have same blocks on and on. So it's crazy in terms of you can make mistake or something like that. So let's try with 500, and that's it. Sorry if this was maybe too long, and I should maybe also call this video how to make a spawner, but we can do that in different ways also. But yeah, that's where you are going to use loops mostly, and this repeat blocks has this again timer, this checker, this exit. Think about these times as exits. So when I reach 500, I exit this block, and that is great because we will see soon that you sometimes don't have that in other blocks, and then your game maybe will freeze or crash down. Okay, this looks crazy, but even yeah, so for example, you can use this to create some kind of background effect, like repeat, creating some kind of object or sprite. In my case, it's simple yellow circle which represents the coin, but I have also some kind of alpha, I think, transparency on it. So yeah, it looks good. You don't have to collect them. You can use this to create some kind of crazy, I don't know, environment, alien planet, whatever. Maybe some kind of terrain, biomass or something like that. Yeah, I like this. Anyway, we have learned how and when to use this block. The important thing is also how, in terms of how this works and why you use it. Not only just to show you in a minute or two, drag this, put this, and that's it. No, here now you know why this works this way, at least on some basic level, and again use it whenever you need it and however you need it. If you need it, if you don't, it's also cool. And that's it. You can combine that with other stuff and make whatever you want. So keep on creating games in GameMaker or any other game engine, and see you soon. Next few videos about loops. So You can compare them and learn them and use them because they are very, very important. Bye for now.